Yes, but not funny, haha. Funny, weird.
Lesbian couples fear that they could be half-sisters after shocking revelation from their moms. The good old days when we weren't related to the people we were dating. Wait. Canadian couple Carly and Mercedes claim to have discovered that both of their mothers slept with the same man after 2 years of dating. First of all, why am I not surprised that this, Penis News covered this story? The viral TikTok that they made has over 1 million likes, and here's what I will say to this. Let me brace myself. It is an interesting phenomenon that gay and lesbian couples already do tend to look a little bit alike a lot of the time, and I wonder if there is something to that. I mean, there already is an entire meme, an entire database of photos submitted to blogs, to Instagram accounts called siblings or dating. There's even an entire subreddit called doppelbangers. The name alone is hilarious, by the way. I also do think it's both interesting and weird that there are many people out there that have a twins or siblings fetish, specifically in the gay male world for some reason. To play devil's advocate here, I guess there are also a bunch of straight people that look alike that are dating and not siblings, but could pass for siblings. But since they're the opposite sex, we just don't notice it as much. And for those of you who are about to ask, yes, there have been a number of scientific studies dedicated to researching on this. A few studies have shown that people tend to be around or date or interact with people that feel familiar, which makes sense. You want to feel comfortable. It's probably subconscious. What's really interesting though is that there are also a number of studies that show that spouses are generally have more in common with than the average stranger. Regardless, the fact of the matter is these straight people are not actually siblings. But to play devil's advocate here, if they were, do I think that any of that would be morally wrong? And to be honest, I think my answer actually changes depending on if the couple in question is homosexual or heterosexual. I'm not gonna lie, we got a little bit of homosexual privilege going on here. Here's my reasoning. Hear me out. With straight couples who are siblings or are very closely related, first cousins, biological issues come into play if they're going to have children. I asked you guys over on my locals page, link to that in the description below. I post content there that I never post here. I asked you guys over there what you thought, and here's what you said. A lot of good comments there. Rospig said, the problem with incest isn't just the eventual offspring's trauma. Even if you aren't biologically related, but were brought up together as siblings, the relationship won't have the same independency that a normal relationship would have. For instance, for at least one of the participants, the other partner will always have existed or been around. This creates an emotional dependency that goes much deeper than what you could ever develop as an adult, which will be a large barrier to overcome if they want to break up and leave the relationship. This also means that there is likely a highly increased risk of abuse and inequality. Somebody else responded to that with a great point. They might be related implies that they were not aware prior to getting involved, talking about the lesbian couple that I had mentioned earlier. This makes me wonder if genetically they were drawn to each other, which again earlier in this video I said is likely to be true. I think if people grow up together in the same household and it's sexual, I wonder if something else is going on in that house, whether it's a gay or straight scenario. Agreed. I think to me it reads as a more traumatic response to whatever was going on in that household, maybe abuse. And we have to remember that this is indeed a taboo subject for a very good reason.
Mohsin has a rare genetic disease which is gradually destroying his body. He was born with it because his mother and father are first cousins. More than half of British Pakistanis marry their first cousins. Tonight on Dispatches, the tragic consequences of a cultural practice that is devastating children's lives. Mohsin's younger sister Hina is 13. She's the Akhtar's fourth child. Her sister Zainab is 11. Both sisters have inherited the same disease as Mohsin. They can neither see nor hear.
Apparently around 10% of kids that are born this way will be born with a genetic abnormality of some sort, if someone has babies with their first cousin. And 1/3 of kids that are born this way will die before the age of 5.
Before we shot that last video, I did a little research on your family history. And it looks like your parents were double first cousins.
Yeah.
Which might explain some of the defects that Ray and Lorraine and Freddie and some of the, but I suspect there's probably something else going on too.
Legally, this is wrong in Western countries. Incest laws actually exist mainly in order to protect kids from being sexually abused and molested by their parents or older relatives. But taking the legal side of this out of the equation, morally do I see this wrong? Yes, mainly because of the extreme risk it poses to the potential offspring. Interesting point here. Although some anthropologists have argued that incest taboos are learned social conventions, they point out that even animals and plants have evolved and developed mechanisms to prevent incest. It's not just that it seems utterly grim to shag your relative. But again, playing devil's advocate, what exactly about gay siblings banging each other or getting together and dating or marrying, what does that have to do with, morally? What does it have to do with children? Penis News, again, has made an article about this. Why can't gay or lesbian twins have sex with or marry each other? Why is incest wrong between same-sex siblings? Again, twincest is an incredibly popular category on porn sites. I mean, I looked this up for literally 2 seconds. Hundreds of thousands of hits, as you can imagine. Apparently, family role play is also an extremely common porn search term, but this is where Penis News really lost me. You guys ready for this? That said, in the interest of fairness and equality, let's make this about equality, shall we? If a gay or lesbian sibling / twins fall in love and are legally allowed to marry or have sex, it's not really fair if straight siblings / twins aren't given the same rights just because some of them can reproduce. That's exactly why it's not fair. It's not morally wrong because, again, gay siblings can't reproduce. Keep in mind, as I'm saying this, it doesn't mean that I don't think all of this is gross. I'm just talking about morality here for a second. As if the lesbian and gay world isn't already massively super incestuous. I could think of 5 girlfriends of mine that have either dated or slept with other girlfriends that I had. Listen to this story. Man introduces new boyfriend to parents. Turns out they'd already had a threesome. Just imagine this for a second. Imagine this happening. I don't even know. It turns out that 10 years ago, during his big bi slut phase, his words, that they had a threesome. I recognize that no one did anything wrong. They were 3 consenting adults, and it's not like anyone could have known that he and I would get together in the future, but also my boyfriend my parents. But wait, just wait. Okay, this is probably one of the worst takes I've seen in quite a few months, okay? 2 men who attended law school filed a legal complaint against the city of New York, arguing that not having access to a woman's reproductive potential is a form of discrimination. They argued that they are entitled for the city to pay for a surrogate. In April, 2 gay men filed a class action complaint with the United States Equal Opportunity Commission against the city of New York, suing one of the gay man's former employees for unlawful workplace discrimination. If they win, employers and health insurers across the United States will be under pressure to change their policies to give gay men the same access to fertility benefits as anyone else. But their case has become much bigger than one couple's drive to start a family. They have become figureheads in the battle for fertility rights for all gay men. One good thing about this disgusting proposition is the amount of backlash that they've gotten for this all. One commenter saying, because you are male does not make you infertile. It makes you male. No one, and I do mean no one, has the right to rent another human's body and womb to use it as an incubator. It is not a human right. Full agree. Some people have even gone as far as comparing surrogacy to slavery. I don't know if I would go that far. Not that it's not equally as bad, but it's definitely an invasion. In this case, the invasion of somebody's free will. I do also understand why surrogacy can be so tricky. First of all, a lot of the time surrogates will be asked to have abortions if the parents in question break up or if the child is going to have birth defects. Secondly, it kind of does deal with the idea of bodily autonomy. One of the gay parents-to-be said, I am pro bodily autonomy. I believe that people should be able to make decisions about their lives and their bodies. This is so relevant now with the decision from the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade. For me, it goes into the same category as sex work. There's this puritanical belief that sex workers are being forced to sell themselves. There are many, many sex workers who do not view their line of work that way. One of the other gay dads had also said this, those who are being sex trafficked are not being compensated for their sex work. Any compensation is going to the hands of their pimp. This is not the case for a willing surrogate. Yeah, that's true. I'm glad he knows the difference there. But what actually struck me the wrong way is the fact that these gay men want insurance companies to view the fact that they are male as a disability or a protected space. Listen to what this author had to say on this topic. It's great. The types of people who opt for surrogacy are entitled, used to getting what they want. Here I include celebrity women who do not want to ruin their figures. Gay men want surrogacy instead of adoption, she said, because of genetic narcissism. I do understand this point, but I also, of course, understand it from a woman's perspective. If a woman wants to help a gay couple out and is being compensated for it in some way or not, depending on what she wants, so be it. My body, my choice, right? But claiming that it is a human right for a gay man to own space for their children by using a woman's body? No, definitely not. I guess that raises the question, is having children a human right? What do you guys think? Make sure to go and check out my live streams every Tuesday night on Rumble at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Link to that is in the description below, along with my locals page, who is now owned by Rumble. I post a ton of content on there that you will never see here. Other than that, I'll see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves. Bye.